Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Sunday sermon. Taking that Sunday sermon considerably well today. Now, I thought I would do something quick, a quick idea of my thoughts on the world we live in. Shout out to Megatron, Mysterio from Winnipeg. Bush was amazing. They played amazing stuff. What you're listening to is a band. I'll put it in the description after. What are they called? Biz Baz Studio. Spike is in the house. Results oriented. Who else we got? MZ. Living in the moment is how you let go of the past. 100% MZ. Where are you from? Oh, Christian Henny. Pete Abraham is back. Pete, I got your email. I need to respond to that. Who else we got? Your future self needs you, not your past. Actually, your now self needs you, but you're right. Let's get out of the past thinking. Joara is back. Good to see you. So what are my thoughts? People, there's so many different channels, especially 7 years ago when Big John was when I found out about 7.5 years ago. It was a very different world back then. Some of the greatest creators are either passed on or are no longer doing it, or they just kind of left, or they got bamboozled by Susan. And it's unfortunate. So the manosphere is completely fragmented in so many different areas. You have the black manosphere, apparently. You have the mixed manosphere. You have the divorce manosphere. You have the young guys, the Sunrise Hoodies. I haven't seen much about him. But, a younger group of folks that are understanding this, an older group. You have the purple pillars who still believe in, blue pill principles, right? So we have the manosphere that's absolutely fragmented. There's beefs in the manosphere. Apparently, if you make a video that tries to take down another creator, apparently that helps you get more views, and more views means potentially more subscribers, which means more ad revenue. I've never taken down, and I could care less about other creators that I don't agree with. I'm sure somebody agrees with them. Good for them. More power to them. Do I watch them? I used to watch quite a few of them, but I don't watch anymore just because the audience has changed. So the manosphere is completely fragmented in so many different ways. All right, hit me till the end, says Old Christian. Let's see, RP Anomaly, good to see you. Excuse me, Ghost Sure is back. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Matthew McConaughey. Rad, I'm still watching TV show Lost. Once you have red pill glasses, you notice women are still acting. There's a lot of hypergamy in the Lost series, I'll tell you that. Shout out to Scotty from Beaverton. Good to see you, brother. Scotty's also our studio Giga Chad with FJT in Europe. Men are waking up. These channels are growing, says Pete. How did we find these channels, right? We had to have found them from a breakup, a divorce, trying to find our purpose in life, difficulty with female relationships, what have you. But some way or another, we found this through a man's issue of being in a relationship. Now, that's what I think about the manosphere, right? It's completely fragmented. And, even in the media is talking about the manosphere. I think Ben Shapiro is talking about it. Who else? Piers Morgan, and then the manosphere is considered negative because of the Andrew Tates and so forth, those strong personalities. So it gets a bad rap, right? But a manosphere to me is just us talking, understanding men's issues, men's challenges, men's plight, men's disposability in society. That's the manosphere. Guys talking about that. And we'll get into other things. Where's Pliskin with the doomsday device? Take out the satellites. They finally did, that's for sure. Megatron says PUAs are choke artists. Couldn't agree more. It's scary that we were sold a huge lie. I don't know if it's scary. It's just the fact that we've woken up. I think that's a solid thing. I think the programming is so deep now that it's going to take, I don't think we're never going back to where it was in 100 years ago. Kiss that goodbye. Relationships will always be fragmented from here on out. They're not changing. They're going to actually get worse. CJ is pushing the junior college. Again, if you're putting women on a pedestal, even chasing the junior college gals, you're still putting power into the opposite sex. Sorry. PUA side of things will implode. You don't really need it. Manosphere will stay strong. No going back now, says Mysterio. Well said, brother. The church has told me I must prevail and forgive our exes. I think forgiveness is a good thing for you, for personal. FJT is back. Good to see you. FJT, our other Giga Chad. Rad, you ever read The Great Gatsby, but with your eyes open, he lusted for a woman who left him when he was penniless. Yes, I know the story, Ghost, very well. I'm glad you brought that up. Timmy Kramer, the forever bachelor, volunteering at the Waste Management Open in Phoenix. 3 days of golf, crazy drunken women, and freedom for forever. Take some pictures, Timmy. I want to see some of these whacked out women on. They're not drunk. They're drinking wine because, you know, you can't get drunk drinking wine. Wine is bougie. Even with Andrew Tate, more masculine compared to beta males. Well, the society's worried about the Andrew Tates. I don't know much about him, but I have seen a few clips of some of the messages he has. PH says, Anthony the Dream said, MGTOWs are just incels and can't get P. It doesn't help when each fragmented group doesn't even understand each other. I think 21 Studios has done some good things. I mean, they've also had a lot of infighting challenges with some of the speakers, but there are some talks that have helped people. Now, whether you are a subscriber or you follow those guys, great. If not, but I can see some folks that take issue with some of the messages. So PH, thanks for being here again. I got your email too. Just haven't responded. Brother Rat doesn't look 49. I'm 50. I'm 50 Cent, y'all. All right. I found these channels by being a serial dater trying to find some happiness after my split after 19 years, as I noticed a pattern. Now I realized and went MGTOW. Well, you get me to the next topic, which is the future of MGTOW. There's so many different versions of MGTOW. People call MGTOW incels or fat divorce guys or guys that can't get women or so forth. Angry, hateful. We're not hateful. A man is going his own way. He just decides I'm going to fly my plane when I want to, with whom I want to, how I want to, and pay for it how I want to. It's as simple as that. We don't hate women. We understand society with different lenses. That's all MGTOW is. It's understanding the reality versus the fantasy. You want to live in the fantasy? We all did at one point. And how did that turn out? I tell my friends, blank 304s are doing strong business. They are abusive. Had a buddy who married his girlfriend at 10 years, less than 2 years later, divorced. Weird. Happens all the time in NASA. I can't tell you. In fact, that's pretty quick after 2 years. That's long in my book. I've seen it going within 3 months they're divorced after they dated 4 to 6 to 7 years. They get the carrot and they realize marriage is not the paradise they once thought it was. KTRK is back. Good to see you. Pete says, MGTOW life is my happiness now. Well, when you're able to put your focus on yourself, you're not going to let yourself down typically, right? PH says, PUAs deny that they are P worshippers, not just the women are delusional. Correct. KTRK says, lone wolf. Something to be, used to be. Unvaccinated MGTOW said, had some bad feelings last night, felt like being back on a plantation in a relationship again. Well, that's just your ego talking to you, telling you that going your own way is not going with the narrative of the world. But we know better. Good to see you. MGTOW isn't a hate group. Let's not hate women. It's about men's real needs. PUAs are selling something that is obsolete in my book. Women and men's relationships are completely changed forever. No amount of game is going to get you. It goes back to the biggest and baddest chat. It goes back to the boredom. It goes back to the attention and the validation needed. You can't play in that game, folks. Men don't pay for kitty. They're too cheap and can't get them clean. You might be right. The MGTOW coffee is making me thirsty for some more. Well said. My hometown is full of fat chicks. Amarok. Well, there's a lot of fatties everywhere, especially in the Northwest. Why did we have low divorce 100 years ago? Well, there was no laws back then. I think people had a very different, I think technology has completely changed the world. When TV came out, I think that I would venture that TV was probably the biggest changes in society's relationships. Because now you had something you could see. They could create these fake families or these families or these, what have you. Shine Customs is back. Hey, Rad, getting some ribs ready for my new grill. Just getting the meat rubbed down. It's a good day. Hell yeah, it is, Travis. Man, make me a ribeye. Arshid is back. Good to see you from India. Send an email with a link to 2 new supplements. Send me an email, brother. I was shocked yesterday. Better Bachelor turning on Rich Cooper and Rolo seems like a familiar theme. I had no idea, old school. He's getting into it too. I'm a lone wolf with Siberian tiger persona. Attaboy. Kelly's back. Let's see what you may have heard of a famous DUA, David D'Angelo. I've heard his name. I did read the book Neil Strauss. Rev sent it to me, Reverend 20 Pieces, called The Game. Interesting book around 20 years ago. I really think no matter what, most men should not marry, cohabit, or have biological kids before 27. If you do, most likely you are finessed by a woman who will leave you when they feel like it. Well said. And we need to let everybody know the red flags. Our biology is to protect, provide, and bang. Couldn't agree more. FJT, I don't understand the you can't get women statement. They're projecting their feelings and insecurities onto us because they need a woman to be happy. SES is not the end all and be all to life. Well, you know, it's interesting you say that. A lot of creators in this space are paying for it. They think, you know, they're out seeking it. Do you need to seek it? Seek the kingdom of heaven, which is you inside. Seek the internal validation, and everything will be added to it. It's not about the family values anymore. No, it's not. Family values, what's that? We could say, what are family values? I think I'm MGTOW level 4 most of the time. Sometimes I leave for some blank, though. Have I invented my own manosphere? You might. There's all sorts of versions of guys in the manosphere. There's the monks. There's guys that just hit and quit. There's guys like Jonathan Noble that have his place, she has her place, and they enjoy each other's time without any transactional resources, money, exchanges, validation, attention, and so forth. So there's all different versions of it. Let's see, we're wired for the family somehow. Well, I think so. We want to spread our seed and extend our legacy. PUAs make me cringe, especially the ones that are often coaching for money. It's not rocket science. You know what, Pete? There's a lot of kids and boys and even men in their 40s that they're scared of women. They're scared of talking to women. And so some of these PUAs that create courses are literally are selling to men that are needing attention from women or seeking it, like massively blue-pilled, and they're vulnerable. So they'll spend a ton of money. Real love is a cosmic force which goes through us. If we crystallize it, it becomes the greatest power in the world. MZ, I meant, can you send me a link? Oh, yes, I will. I gotcha. I'll tell you what I'm taking. I love having sexual relationships with chicks, but people will say you live in loneliness and you'll have child support and divorce is worse. You're not lonely. The issue is, loneliness is a skill you have to overcome. Loneliness just means you haven't spent enough time with yourself. It means you're seeking external validation to your existence by other people, and the other people could care less. Have you heard of Thomas Hodges, who is Doc Love? He is passed now. I've heard of Doc Love. Don't know much about him, Mysterio. What's your dad's take on love, Rad? He's blue-pilled, but he's married to my mom. Mike P is back. PUAs are cringe. I couldn't agree more. They're all stabbing each other in the back, but to be fair, it's happening on so many different content categories. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't make sense, right? Remember what Cher said? She don't need a rich man. She is a man. Went to hell after that. KTRK Radio. Scotty said there's a lot of women recently getting very popular in the manosphere. Yes, I personally think they're popular because even though these guys call themselves alpha or red pill, they're still simps. Absolutely, Scotty. And didn't Hammerhand do a video that there's 4 women that control 90% of the views in the manosphere? I think subconsciously men are still seeking women, especially in the red pill space. Original family values are married couples, property, God, and country. Well said. I don't know what I am. I just want to retire somewhere like Thailand and hit up brothels and beaches. Mike P. You're just a man with a healthy testosterone drive. CGA pays $400 to $500 per junior college in the video. Yeah, I'm to a point in my life, and I think a lot of guys are like, it doesn't, like, when you're seeking it, okay, I understand the thrill, the hunt, the chase. It's great to unwrap somebody in the beginning, but it gets old. The other thing that gets old is having to stack all these things in life. Experiences are what matter. You can't take anything. The only thing you can take are your experiences. Mile High Ronan, great advice will always be free knowledge. It's what people do with that knowledge, I guess. Mile High, good to see you. Is a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship like Nobles in your 20s to 30s possible? Good question. I think we have a different view of it in our 60s, that's for sure. But the Rockefellers made sure of that. Sure. This is all set up. It's a narrative. Only the rich can afford the fantasy of love, says Adam. And that's what happens to the rich, right? A big guess. One would think being monk mode would be considered hot to women since they want what they can't have. Bolo from Canada. Could be. Good to see you, brother. If you don't need love as a man, it's okay to marry. You won't find love in marriage, gentlemen. So don't even try it. I think you're right. Love goes away. Love goes away, if you can call it that. Juara says he doesn't pay. I wouldn't be paying for that. Even paying for college girls, it's like junior college gals that Coach Greg Adams talks about on Sugar Fans or whatever, OnlyFans, Sugar Babies. They're getting ran through too. Doesn't that kind of make it? Doesn't that sound sick? She's got 5 sugar daddies, and she's getting ran through 5 times a week. They try so hard to ignore the truth. Even when the View and female talk shows are losing views, they keep talking. Ladies will sink their own ships. That's for sure. Seek excellence, not women, says Mike P. Well said. FJT, I don't know why PUAs brag about 1,000 body count. I've been with multiple women from different backgrounds. It gets old. It's the same old, same old. Well said. There's a couple of guys that are out claiming they've done 1,500 women. And great. When a man falls for a woman, he truly and sincerely cares for the very being, but they never reciprocate, unfortunately. Well said, Adam. We love differently or believe in love differently than our counterparts. Timmy says, married, divorced, single, and forever bachelor. Peace, quiet, and freedom, Timmy. Fenugreek is a natural supplement. One of the most common reasons men use fenugreek supplements is to boost testosterone. Interesting. Old school. I think I've heard of that. Tomcat Ali, Fedosia Grisha, I think Barely Good Tennis takes turkesterone. I don't know much about that. Anything to help improve. I've seen some noticeability on DHEA as well as Tomcat Ali. And I just started implementing Fedosia agridis based on that Joe Rogan, Andrew Huberman article or podcast. The choice is yours, but don't fall into the trap that you need someone. Well said, KTRK Radio. You only need you. And so many people don't understand that in all walks of life. Red pill, blue pill, purple pill. We don't need anyone but ourselves. If you can't make yourself happy, no one will make you happy. All I got to say, guys, is that I tried very hard to get my ex-girlfriend back. I really did try, but it's like what me and Rad said. It's hopeless. Never bathe in dirty bathwater. That's what I say. Joara, Jonathan Noble's way is king. I think that's smart, especially if you have resources and you don't believe in that baloney love story. Bad religion, you and me have a disease. You infect me, I infect you. Great song. Being rich only makes you fantastic divorce bait, says Swick. 555, women dump rich husbands all the time and take the money and run. Talked about that the other day, that even billionaires are bankrupt emotionally and mentally. Manasseh says, even doing the pump and dump is pointless. Why put it where a man just did it yesterday and another one last week? Agree. I will say, after my post-divorce, I did go on a crazy hit and quit spree for a couple years. And I did enjoy the getting to know and unwrapping that person. But in the end, it does get boring. It's the same old, same old, same old. You're absolutely 100%. And then you realize, hey, there's more to life than seeking the peace leave, right? There's more to life than wanting to be a billionaire at this point. I'd rather backpack on a ledge somewhere in Mexico and enjoy eating tacos and having nothing in my way and owing nobody anything. Let's see, old Christian Henny, even Tom Hanks, as Forrest tried to care about Jenny. Yep, that's one of the original massive blue pill simp was Forrest Gump. T-Tox is back, jumping off the blue pill train changes lives, brothers. Well said, T-Tox. Good to see you. If I let my life play out and make it to 90 and make to 93, 97, I will be with at least 15 to 20 women physically, naturally, as they fall in and out of life. Well said, Mr. I mean, people are going to come in and out of your life at all times. Your best friend you had in high school might not be your best friend later in life. Women surely don't go the distance. So whoever you start your life with, start it or continue in the middle and end it, are all going to be different players, most likely. If you must have some peace leave, just enjoy it while it lasts, but don't make it your purpose in life. Women always have the upper hand. Just be careful. Words of wisdom by Pete. Well said. Shine Customs, I'm going to start that Tomcat Ali mix in another week. I figured I'd take 2 weeks to detox. Good. Yeah, let me know what you think about that. I'm really appreciative of those herbs, at least what I've learned. I wouldn't pay for that either. I once dated a woman that went on foodie calls with rich guys and came to me afterwards to get her back blown out. I never took her on a date. Guys, as we said, this is not a dating channel, but FJT is 100% right. You do the opposite. Let's say someone's listening and still wants to play the market. Do the opposite of what you think you should do and watch what happens. The Tom Likas way. Treat them like crap. Don't call them back. I mean, say you're going to show up, don't show up, because all the other simps are doing exactly what that woman says, and the one that doesn't do what she says gets all of her attention. David Castro is back. Good to see you, brother. Do you think your red-pilled rad from head to toe mean that women can't get the goods on you anymore? I think that's a great question, Mysterio from Winnipeg. I think the issue is this. How do I live my life now, knowing what I've come from, knowing where I've been, knowing the knowledge and experience I've been through, and then creating something out of it? Everything I have learned, I've taken with me. Again, I don't believe in love. Love's baloney. Okay? I don't believe in marriage, cohabitation, and I do not believe in having biological kids with anyone anymore. Number one, I can't, and I won't because of the risk. No woman on the planet will admit to being with hundreds of men. Yet. I bet they will, though. The real reasons why people hate religion is because of divorce. I wonder what Jesus would say about this. Jesus loved the little kids, so I'm sure he wouldn't want kids being going back and forth to mom and dad's house. It really does come down to experiences, and the close to you, the people in their deathbed don't wish they made more money. They wish they spent more time with their loved ones. 100%. Yeah, who gets to the deathbed and said, I wish I would have bought that new set of wheels for my Ferrari. They're like, you know what? I wish I would have spent more time with my kid or my mother or my, what have you. Absolutely right, Manasseh. Last night I overheard the gal sitting near me bragging about her fiance that he's a pilot. She's so emphasized on what he does and how he can provide than just his personality. Women don't fall in love with the man's heart. They fall in love with the man's wallet, the man's status. It's as simple as that. and the man, a lot of times the man's exterior. Hard to turn off the desire for women completely. It may be pointless, but it is biologically driven in most men. I just keep it safe, short, unemotional, and as infrequent as possible. Well said. And you can't turn your testosterone off. And we're always going to seek beautiful women. There's nothing wrong with that. Seeking beautiful women to be with them is a biological urge that God, the universe, put into us. We're here to extend our legacy. That's as simple as that. So, but how do we do it now? We look at the risks and the rewards. We say, you know what? The fantasy is not the true reality. Rad, believe it or not, I still have my elementary, high school friends in my life. No real drop off, and I still collect more friends. Good for you. Very rare, though. Very rare. You must be a great friend. Religion originated mafia crime. Just look at the money on the churches of marriages today. Don't think you're going to find a unicorn in a Christian church, folks. Put yourself first. Learn to have standards. Saying no, give you back your power. Slam Cave, laying it down in Chinatown. Well said, brother. Good to see you, Slam. The RCC used to be 100% against divorce. It was considered unspeakable. The Roman Catholic Church. Okay, that's what you mean. Yeah. If you got divorced, I think they changed it 10 or 15 years ago, but if you got divorced in the Catholic Church, you were automatically excommunicated. Just to get married in the Catholic Church is a huge commitment. You have to go through training with the priest and the father, what have you. It's a huge deal. So if you divorce, that's why so many Catholic couples are still married. Yeah, a lot of them cheat on each other, but they don't want to go through the Catholic excommunication. You don't need 300 to 700 wives to end up like King Solomon. I don't think so. I saw a comment on a video last week. Men are looking to love and women are seeking to be loved. What's that tell you right there, Manasseh? Rad, at least the gifts of divorce sharpen you in your 40s and being 89 and realizing your life with a woman was wasted. Yeah, I'm glad I went through it now. And I think anyone going through it, even in your 50s, there is a way, 60s, you can still have a decent life. It might not be financially abundant, but at least you can run the mental and the emotional and the physical and the spiritual aspect well. You might have to become a truck driver again to pay your bills or even start trucking. I think that's a great MGTOW red pill. When you lost everything, you can build yourself back up slowly. And you have a place to sleep in your cab. And you get a per diem. Even with the guys who knew back in middle school, they're broken, worn out chumps when they get kids. Oh, sure. There is hypergamy in dating too. If you're a buff guy that takes care of himself and dresses well, they drop you, believe they can do better. It's everywhere. Hypergamy is everywhere. It ain't going away. It's part of the biology. I still notice beautiful females, but I keep a distance. So let's get to the bottom here. Red pill. The red pill just basically is you deciding what's reality and what's fantasy. And hopefully you choose on the true side of reality, not the Disney side. That's the fantasy. Stephen says, God is not found in churches, but in the heart of men. 100% correct. Having a personal relationship with God is good, but always be cautious of preachers in Armani suits telling you about God. Doesn't it sound interesting? Some of these high-level preachers, it's kind of like a PUA in religion, if you think about it. For men to live a solid life, hobbies, health, workouts, fasting, family, and friends. Well said, Mysterio. What can you do to be better? There's so many things you can do without any money. Walk, move your energy, fast. Do a 20-hour fast. Do that sacrifice, and slowly but surely life improves. If I knew the truth from my conception to the present day, I would have never made the mistake I did and never get married, moved abroad, or even had kids. I think a lot of us old school are in that sort of thinking. Matthew says, Rad, I honestly think this information is going to start getting suppressed even more heavily. I'm going to remember this for a lifetime. Well said, brother Matthew. Tom Z is back. Good to see you. Old school says female nature is female nature. Mysterio, what do you really think about trying to become rich? In my 20s, I wanted to be a billionaire. In my 50s, I want peace, quiet, and freedom. And it doesn't take a lot of money. especially in other countries. All women care about is looks, height, and money. There's no way around it. A lot of women will definitely follow that. Definitely follow that. Hypergamy in the old days were way better. At least you had to earn it. Well, it was very difficult to be hypergamous back then. I mean, there was, you couldn't get away with it as much as you can today. Red pill is really about being true to yourself, not trying to have frame on chicks. Well said. Red pill looks at society, whether it's relationships, education, government, career, and says, am I doing it for myself? Am I meant, let's just say in the career, we're supposed to get a career, work 40 years, get that house, get that 30-year mortgage, only to retire and be sick because we worked so long making somebody else rich. The red pill says, I see that money doesn't make me happy. I see that people are very grifting when it comes to money. I want to focus on what I can do to be happy every Monday morning at 6 a.m. when I wake up. Would that be having my own position or my own company? Would that be being free? Would that be working very minimalistically so I can spend my time working on myself? We look at the government. We realize the narrative of the government hasn't been completely honest with us over our lifetime. We look at education. We look at the training that teachers are training students to go that liberal-minded baloney. And the red pill just wakes us up. That's all it does, and says, look, in all these areas of life, what you learned and what you were programmed growing up is not the true reality. If you do follow the conditioning and the narrative, most likely you will end up unhappy, angry, sick, and die of a disease. Divorce Corp is a big business. Men just make those divorce lawyers even richer. Yep. Nowadays, mothers are dating someone else in common. The new Top Gun moment, let that sink in. Of course, the narrative, the broken family is the romance now. The broken family is the new romance novels. My dad isn't doing well, and it's showing how codependent my mom has become over 50 plus years. Emotional hurricanes. Oh yeah, Sam. In 100 to 300 years, where do you see marriage and relationships, arranged marriage, assigned partnership, or just the whole? I think, well, there's obviously going to be kids being born, probably not as much as one would think. I think relationships are going to be completely, well, that's a great question. I mean, will they be around? I mean, I think a lot of folks are going to stay out of it. I think we have so much data on divorce that even kids of divorce are just saying, I don't want any part of it. I don't want to have my kids go through it. The whole concept of marriage to them is completely tainted. Murky Water says the problem with hypergamy these days isn't the base concept, but rather that too many women in the market think that men that are about the same as them are worse. Misjudgment of value. Well said, brother Murky Waters. Where are you from? Do you think Bill Gates is happy and stress-free being divorced? He's a weird dude, man. Is he even real? I laugh when people say, look at this couple. They've been together 30 years. And later you'll find out from the grapevine that the wife cheated multiple times. 100% FJT. Oh, they're so happy. Really? I know. Yeah. Baloney. Young men don't realize strength, power, and sexual marketplace value they have. Most just roll over and give it all away to a subpar woman in his 20s for very little in return. Well said, PH. Watch movies like Malcolm X. There's a lot of good movies out there. If a woman believes a man to be her best option, then she'll be as loyal as she can be, but far easier said than done because, again, misjudgment of value. Misjudgment of value for 300 Trebek. Rad, don't you have a friend that is rich? What's his life like if you don't mind sharing your thoughts? I got several friends that are rich. A lot of them are realizing the richer they are, the less happy they are. A lot of them, look, the richest guy is the one that has peace, quiet, and freedom and is a minimalist in my book. The guy that has multiple possessions is most likely sick because he has so many external things. I mean, even the Buddhists have talked about this. Japanese, less is more. The more things you have, the sicker you get. Like literally. But anyhow, I think he's not stress-free. He's got a lot of stress. He told me at one point he had about 30 cars on his insurance, and there was only 4 drivers in his household. Pearlie doesn't agree with female nature. Well, I'm not a fan of Pearlie. She's never been through the courts. If someone doesn't wake up after the one night Arola, I don't know what will. Well, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Remember, it's the man who always settles down. Write that down. It's the man that concedes. He typically doesn't compromise. They say compromise in marriage. Yeah, right. Oh, Christian Henne, I'm not going to read that, but I agree. Well said. More stuff equals more stress, more problems. Absolutely. The tragedy of all this chaos isn't exactly the men and women not pairing, but more so the horrendous effects of bad parenting from broken families, single motherhood, and bad childhoods later on. Well said, Murky Waters. Well said. Fasting is great for weight loss. I'm not a vegan, but if you want to lose weight quickly, be a temporary vegan. That's the way to do it until you hit your target. It works. I love meat too much, Pete. But just eat clean. The felons and criminals always have the most loyal women. Absolutely. Guys, there's guys on death row that have hundreds of women writing them. The new romance novel is the divorced but blended family in middle-aged mother's mind. Delusional. Well said. Well said. Murky Waters. I say that if the women don't want the men can't find a way to live, but can civilization live on? No. You have to have the masculine. Look, Rome thrived because of strong men, and then it became Skittles, and then it fell apart. That's exactly where we're at today. So, guys, this is not going back. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break your achy hearts, but it ain't going back. We're not going to go back to, Leave It to Beaver when mommy loved dad and was in her great dress and had a wonderful meatloaf on the table with all of the sides and happy to see her husband come home and he's just jolly and happy. That ain't happening. Financially, it's extremely difficult to maintain a household with a one-parent deal. And most likely those women, they say the number one 304 is the housewife. She's during the day on her social media. She's getting attention from men. It's all transparent now. So it's not coming back. And those guys that are teaching PUA are teaching an obsolete regimen. It's as simple as that. You're paying for a paper book weight when you buy the courses for PUA. How to frame a woman? There is no such thing as frame. How do you deal with someone that has an emotional hurricane every 10 minutes? That hormones are constantly in flux? How is logic going to do anything to sway someone? If you want to sway a woman, this is not a dating show, you do everything opposite that you've been told. That's what the Chads and Tyrones do. Dude, passport bros are disgusting. They promote third world simping and tricking. J Love, 100%. They're just, Wes talks about this from 5 Years of Freedom. They're just simps in a different border and language. Lana Roach, yeah. A lot of these gals that do prawn eventually end up either, unfortunately, dead because of an overdose, or they self-delete. What's going to happen? It's not a good. Prawn is not good for anybody. It's not good for the guys that view it. It's not good for the women that participate in it, and it's not good for society in general. But we've all looked at it. Leave It to Beaver. Hell yeah. Taking my kid to a birthday party this morning, and I'm sure there's going to be. I bet you're going to see that slam. They come after you. Rome went crazy and down, and it's happening here in the U.S. Well said. MGTOW Cowboy is back. Greetings and salutations, brother. Hire an escort, period. Yes, instead of getting in a relationship, and if you feel like you need to get a relationship, or you've always wanted to lie with a woman, then I would say pay for it. I don't see a problem with that. Hoodie, Rad, how many backup dudes do you think the average woman keeps around? My guess would be 5 to 10. I think you're on par, if not more. Good to see you, Hoodie. Tell me where you're from. Female RP channels are simply chameleons trying to win over blue-pilled simps. They're just, look, unfortunately, they can They can see what men's issues are on the outside, but they're not a man, so they don't understand it. They're not wired like us, so how can they give advice? Sexist relationships and marriages are real, absolutely. I think one mistake of feminism was to assume all women want to be independent and liberated. Now women have to be like that. They are criticized or derided by other women or gyno society. Well said. Well said, PH. Fool Me Once says, Rad, good to get into the live stream. I'm a trucker, so it's hard to participate, but I watched them all. Thanks for helping us get off the ledge. Good to have you here, Fool Me Once. I don't know where you're from, but we got a lot of truckers. In fact, I've spoken to a lot of guys that are they're down on their dumps. They've lost everything. They don't know what to do. And I tell them, go to a trucking school. At least you'll get out of the area. You'll make money. You'll do something. You don't have to do it forever. Do it for a year. Stack 60, 70,000 and then decide what you want. Good to have Fool Me Once in the chat. The good old days are coming back, but it's still important for real men to stand on the brakes as long as we can. The good days aren't coming back. Never give in to these lunatics and never compromise on being a man. Well said, Stephen. Well said. The good days aren't coming back. You got to be strong where you're at today. Best to be alone with some woman who loves you than to be with someone. Hold on one second. All right, I had to text my boy. Best to be alone than to be with someone who doesn't love you. Correct? 5 years of freedom. Look who's in the house. Just checked out Wes's new video today. Look at Wes's channel. Good stuff. Rad, did you look at California? It's getting crazy. Yes. California is a joke, guys. Terminator T100 is back. T800. Good to see you. RP anomaly, recognizing and avoiding usury, fakery, and fuckery is life-changing. If only more men understood that. PUA is paying to learn about there's no attraction. He's creepy. Correct. Hold on one second. I just got to text my boy. Let's see what he says. We do sushi Sunday, my two boys and I, a lot. Okay. You're absolutely right, Slam. Old Christian says, it's funny people say Obama is better than Donald Trump, yet Obama has a paycheck of $135. Yeah, where does a community organizer get all that dough? I don't think women talking about RP is inherently wrong, but they often don't do it right or with good intentions. Most men need to be left alone, figure out what men want to be. Well said. I think that their intentions are there, but they don't understand truly what a man feels like or understands how we're wired. That's the deal. If you're attractive enough, you don't need game. Okay. You don't need game. And if you're just ugly to a girl, no amount of game will get her. It's just reality. I think you're spot on, Manasseh. I think there's a lot of truth in that statement. Terminator is in the building. Also, the author of Men on Strike, written by a woman, said somewhere that women are more likely to listen to women about men's issues. In this sense, men actually need women to build awareness. I don't think what they're doing is necessarily wrong. Again, a lot of these gals do not understand what men feel. Now, if these women are telling other women, don't divorce your men, you're going to regret it, then I completely stand behind that message. El Padrino from Chicago is in the house. Good to see you. To see our buddy El Padrino. It's because it's filled with earthquakes. 100%. Alex Elizondo, what's up to you, brother? We got women look better going than coming. Post-nut clarity. You are right about California. I think women hate me here. Star-Lord is in the house. Good to see you. I think a lot of women just don't like men. They're so, drunk on attention and validation. No amount of good man, solid man is going to get her attention. Less is more is exactly the minimalistic, stoic way of freeing yourself, brothers. 100%. The more things you have, the sicker you are. They've done studies on that. When this world ends, believe me, feminism will go down to hell forever and ever, says David Castro. I think they understand it now that it's in hell, but they just won't admit it. PUA is churning the waters before jumping in with a shark. High-value sims are tasty to sharks. Well said, guys. If you're going to swim with sharks, you have the potential to lose your life, if not be maimed forever. Sushi Sundays with your son warms my heart. We tried to do that, but my boy's working, and my other one is got to do something. So we'll have to maybe schedule it during the week. I'm rich in character, says Timmy Kramer. Good for you, brother. That's exactly where you need to put your wealth. Trump said he wants to pass a rainbow law to stop the Skittles delusion. I support it 100%. So do I, FJT. Southern California, divorce and Wu flu crushed my business and everything. I worked for 25 years. Trucking changed the game. I highly recommend it. Good for you, man. I would completely do that gig. Number one, because it'd be different. You could see the world. You can make decent amount of money. You can listen to red pill content all day or music. Yeah, you're going to have to deal with some of this stuff, but it doesn't have to be forever. And if you like it, great. At least you're living a great life. Just living with my mom was hell. Now imagine a wife or a girlfriend. No thanks. Women don't do peace. They do arguments and drama. Well said, Adam. Well said. You're not saying anything wrong there. Right? Gerald is back. Good to see Gerald. He made our stream. We're now live and ready to go because Gerald's here. Good to see you. I'm sorry you're not getting notified. Just practice all the BS women like to hear. Be like Pepe Le Pew. No need to pay a PUA. I feel bad for the boys that are paying for PUAs and the guys that don't understand it. This information is free. Obama has a very interesting background, that's for sure. My superpower is women hate me within 5 to 10 minutes of meeting. It's pretty amazing to watch. Tell a woman no. You know, do all the things that you think you shouldn't do. Tell her she has bad breath. Go brush your teeth. Tell her she has something in her tooth. Tell her you don't like what she's wearing. Say, I don't like that coat. Take it off. Watch what happens. Feminism is the cancer of any society. 100% Terminator. 5 years of freedom. We live in a world where we have to treat women like crap in order to keep her from losing respect. Totally backwards. Get to the chopper! Well said, Wes. Men should always be in reinvention mode. Yeah, absolutely. Be like Madonna and continue to reinvent yourself. Don't get in half for a few dollars in sweet scallops or clam. Don't get bit in half. There you go. Well said. Guys, if you're going to swim in murky waters, shark-infested waters, and that's the modern day relationship today. The modern day woman is a shark-infested water. The likelihood of you having freedom and amazement is zero, basically zero. I support women in the space of traditional value is pushed to other women, but until the courts change, it's smoke and mirrors. Well said, Slam. My superpower is invisibility, but it only works with women. You know what? That you might have dodged multiple bullets, Gerald. Smallville Clark was a sim. I would agree with that. They are gendered forms of respect. Sometimes people use respect to mean treating someone like a person, and sometimes to mean treating someone like an authority. Good comment. For some, if you don't respect me, I won't respect you. Means if you don't treat me like an authority, I won't treat you like a person. I think respect is completely warped in a lot of ways, Murky Waters. I'd agree with that. The 33 secrets equals snake oil, just like PUA coaching. You know, I've watched a few of Matt's episodes, but yeah, his audience pays for this kind of stuff. They're buying obsolete information. How much do you personally need a night rad, and are you an early bird? I like to be in bed by 10, but I typically don't fall asleep for like 2 hours. I'm on my way to get to the chopper. Put that cookie down now. Female nature is global. You're sure damn right, Terminator. This is for everyone in the stream. Do not get in relationships with women that are jabbed. You know, David Castro, I think you're right about that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I see it in my ex. I feel even more bad for the guys paying for the OnlyFans model validation, thinking that these girls love them. A lot of men are going to have their feelings hurt if they stop sending money. Absolutely, man. The whole internet validation attention wagon is horrible. I mean, that's the destruction of society. A husky has more love for you than a woman, says old honey Christian. Cher is 76 and her boyfriend is 36. How is this possible? What is he getting out of it? I bet he was raised by a single mother, and he probably wants a mother figure in his life. That's what I think. I work with a majority of women. I made it respectfully clear that I'm there for work and don't care for heresy or office politics. News travels fast. I'm pretty much avoided. I can enjoy work. El Padrino is right, guys. Brother Matt is selling sand in an hourglass. You're probably right. Too many guys are desperate and they're already hooked. It's kind of like how women are hooked once the man already slept with them. Resource attention for cats already hooked. Couldn't agree more. Wes is right. Treat them like shit and they will chase you. Crack Smith. Tom Likas talks about it. Do everything opposite. Now, if there's purple pill guys in here, or blue pill, and you need a lady, do everything you think you shouldn't do. See what happens. AZ is back. Greetings, rad gentlemen, post-Sims like myself, and happily chasing excellence overlays, man. Salutations to you. Chasing excellence is the new relationship. And it only needs one person. That's you. Todd Johnson, she's paying for a weak guy or aspiring actor or something desperate. Good to see Todd. In all my years of dating, I've only had homemade dinner made for me 5 or 6 times, and the one made me fish sticks. That makes me funny. Did you have tartar sauce with that, Timmy? Cucks will break down eventually. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think the dangerous man the most dangerous man in the world is a simp. Think about it. When simps emotionally lose it, they delete, they self-delete, they hurt people, they go narcissistic. Blue pill living and simping, and blue pilled men and simps are the most dangerous men in the world. Changing laws in society will never stop female nature. No, it will not. Good for you for saying that. You ever hear men regret the women we didn't sleep with? Women regret the men they have slept with. How is that so? What an interesting thought there, Stephen. But you're absolutely right. Even Matt Cross is settling down. I didn't know that. Interesting. We've seen what corn has done to women. Soon we'll see what OnlyFans will do to women, including teenagers who are exposing themselves to all matter of wickedness. Well said. What's going to happen in 20 years when all these gals are washed up, their bodies are thrashed from all of the jizz, their minds are thrashed, they have the 1,000 cc stare, they're dead behind their eyes. What's going to happen? Mom and sisters can't cook, lost art for decades of Western women. Well said, Todd. A lot of women can't cook today. It's sad. My mom went to a school where they taught women, what was that? What do they call it? She went to a school where they learned how to cook and set the table and eat and hold your napkin. We had to do that as kids. My mom would get so upset if we had our elbows on the table. Just settle down with Asian women, bro. Not at all. Women that want you to use you to take care of her family and discard you once she gets a green card like that. FJT, laying it down in Chinatown. Watch FJT's channel with all of those wacky voicemails. Most women can't cook. Utah County women are the worst. Todzilla, well said, brother. Down in Provo and Orem, you're right. If they do cook, it's like some casserole they got at Costco. Are you guys getting dumped on down in Utah? We're doing pretty good up here in Idaho. Hopefully, the reservoirs will be filled camping this year. Lavish patch camp. We got a lot of precipitation this year. I think we're gonna have decent amount of water for the summer. Good to see you, brother. Star-Lord says, I'm actually retiring from my job due to toxic femininity, office politics. Inner voice says, you are doing the right thing. Get out of toxic situations. If you got to start over, right? Good call. We chase excellence even more, I believe, but for ourselves, when we wise up, once bitten, twice shy. As wise. Well said, Pete. Kelly says, simps will body you over. Yeah. Simps are the most dangerous men in the world. Jerron from Brooklyn, the PUA will be out of business now that the passport bros are a movement. Lawyers, divorce lawyers will also take a hit. I mean, look at that girl, Pearl. She's now the face of the manosphere. Good to see you, Jerron. You're absolutely right. You could say that creeps like Blank Rogers and the Unders had no father. Yeah, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. And why do you think our prisons are full of men? Because they don't have a strong father. And the fathers today can't be fathers because if they discipline, they're going to jail. I would agree with that statement. Check out Wes's channel on 5 Years of Freedom. My ex-wife was a good cook. It was social media that ruined her. Her craving for attention and validation was insatiable and unsustainable. Well said, Stephen. Same with mine. I don't care about the manosphere. Individual boys and men suffering for thirst deserve real concern. Not seeking the passport bro dreams and RP dating like Rolo and his funky punch. Interesting, but you're right. No one pays your bills. You get your ass up. Go do what needs to be done, and only when you can look at yourself in the mirror with a sense of accomplishment. F the opportunist. Well said, El Padrino. Well said. Dining etiquette. It's sad a lot of girls can't cook rather than spend money. A lot of women can't cook. That's why they love the foodie calls. Manasseh. Pearl has over 1 million subs, more subs than Hammerhand and other guys putting out red pill content. I'm against these hoes in men's live streams. I'm suspicious of women creators. Hello from the vanishing state of Denmark. Rad, I've noticed after COVID that there's some kind of ignoring each other between the sexes going on. I see it in shopping and public pool facilities. Big dick ding. I think people just, men and women, just there's not a compassion anymore. Especially women who are so inundated with social media, they really think that they are princesses. There's only one princess, guys, and she died. It was Princess Di. Your mom's school was called a finishing school. Yes, where they had to learn to be ladies. Motown had the female singers learn those skills. Yes, finishing school. Thank you, Mysterio. Gals who remain humble, submissive, and friendly are just doing the bait and switch. It doesn't matter if they are local or foreign. Well said, AZ. Absolutely right. Working with women is risking a false alligator. Yes, you're right. Do the Mike Pence rule, never be alone with a coworker that is female. Terminator says, I destroyed my Captain Simp costume a long time ago. Good for you. Blank killers didn't have fathers to guide them in Norway. They brag about safety and peace. You know, they didn't have fathers or very strong families, that's for sure. Was your ex a good cook, Rad, or did you cook the family meals? No, she actually did all the cooking. I got lucky. Her mom was a cook. What do you think of Nefex? I have one of their songs that I play, Gerald, on some of my live streams. My ex-wife was a great cook, but it didn't keep her from being hypergamous. Well said. America in a few years, most men will go to Thailand, Philippines, and other countries. They will be in the new economic power, while we will turn into a third world country. You might be right, Jerome. Careers keep women busy for corporations with less time for family. There's that too. Hence grabbing takeout. Well said, Todd. The narrative is to break the family up. Get the woman to work. No food. Kids eat, fast food and get all inundated with that crappy chemical. Paul Elam says there are no victims here, only volunteers. Stop volunteering, boys. Love that statement. Fool me once. Paul Elam. My buddy broke down in tears last time I went on a trip with him because he has zero input over his son, who is turning into lame. I could tell divorce is imminent. What's the point? Guys, most men today cannot be fathers. The woman will not allow that. Interesting how they completely switch and discard many men once they get that green card. Many men don't think it'll happen to them until it happens to them. My girl's not like that. She loves me, FJT. She's in Ukraine and she loves me. She says, I am her prince. I am giving her hope because her last husband was abusive and controlling and abusive. Eminem is an angry elf. Haley Scott isn't posting any Instagram with her mother. Interesting. Women know exactly what they're doing. They act dumb and stupid when it doesn't benefit them. They can say, I want to do me, but you can't say that as a guy. Well said, Jaron. They're not stupid. They act that way, but they're not stupid. We have to understand that. If I do, however, get a woman, it won't be Western cultural since most females can't cook. Nope. There's so much more to life than women, such as hobbies, learning new things, and experiencing life, but most men will never see it. It's really sad. Marvel Eat 500, good to have you, and that's a very good statement. We've got to put our emphasis on ourselves. What makes us happy? What improves our lot in life? What improves our position in this world? How can we make it and have peace, quiet, and freedom? Maybe hypergamy is an age range. Would a 60-plus woman really want to monkey branch, and for what? Death is around the corner. Women monkey branch even in their 60s, I'll tell you that. But I agree with that statement. They should hunker down for the next 20 years. Oh, Padrino, I don't trust loud people. When I'm around loud people, it doesn't last very long. Oh, where I'm from, loud people don't last very long. Move in silence and keep moving forward. Peace, quiet, and freedom for 300. Love is a casino. How much are you willing to pump into it before you call it quits and walk away? Dating is a casino. The house wins. You will lose. Take $1,000 to Vegas. I guarantee 99% of you will lose. Great looks, consistent lays, and cooking skills usually come with shit tests, mental and emotional drama, and even break a beak for more and more. Men with integrity don't marry and carry females. Women love drama. It can be positive or negative. Doesn't matter. They love it. The more I notice your nature and consequences of them coming into political parties, since the liberation of the ladies in 1971 here in Denmark, the more I look away, find other interests. And it's apparent everywhere. It's apparent everywhere, the modern day female, the modern day male, modern day relationships, where it's going, the manosphere. It's broken. The whole system is broken. And that's why it's not going back. We all, though, it won't happen to us. Never underestimate a woman. They have the upper hand in most cases. And they have enforcers to help them have the upper hand. The enforcers wear badges and carry handcuffs and wear black robes. Give these souls what they want, leave them. Then when you do, they have a problem. They cry because they have a problem with it. Guys, this has been a great stream. I'm going to cut it down, but that's the future. You can either take this information of the red pill and understand a man going his own way and to use it to your advantage, or you can completely discredit it, go back to the plantation and repeat the cycle. Now, what if there's a PUA that's selling, ex-MGTOW, ex-red pillars? How many guys are going to go to that? That's the men that get very alone and get fear for living their life without a woman are going to fall prey to that. A lot of men in the manosphere don't get it, including the Rollos and the John Anthonys. Modern women aren't sustainable for most men. I've been looking into retiring to the Philippines or Thailand for financial. A pension can go further. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to live out there. Only a fool will completely trust a woman, especially a modern day woman. Females are quick to judge men, but slow in judging themselves. These men who know the climate of the relationship and one-sided is still they engage. It's exactly what they're going to get. Well said. D-Man's here. Thank you for being here as well, D-Man. Be good to yourselves today. You're the only one that can be good to you. I think it'll collapse. If any relationship markets normalize, it'll be a terrible era. If someone tells me relationships are coming back, you got to walk away from that person. You can tell liberating women was a key component of that corruption that runs Western nations. Well said. Was raised on beanie weenie cheesy casserole feminism. Mile High Ronin. You guys have been great. Perfect. Shout out to FJT's channel and all the Slam Caves channel, MGTOW Cowboys channel. I know I'm missing a couple of you guys, but it's been good. And remember this information. Remember, the reality is not the fantasy. Rebel against defeat. Chase excellence, masculinity, men first.